Hi everyone, for this lesson I'll show you how to factor a trinomial, namely one in the form of x squared plus bx plus c, where the coefficient of x squared is 1. Okay, so let's take a look at this example where we have x squared plus 5x plus 6. So we want to factor this trinomial. So what you want to do is look at the last number, the 6, or the constant, and think of all the factors for 6. It could be 1, 6, or 2 and 3. Now the next thing you want to do is pick the one where you add up to 5. In this case, because you have a plus plus. So it has to be the 2 and the 3. Since we already determined the factors will be 2 and 3, now we can make two sets of parentheses, just like this. And we want the first term to be an x squared, so the x will go here and here. And since the factors are 2 and 3, we can put the 2 here and the 3 here. The next step is to determine the sign. Since this is a plus sign here next to the 6, it has to be plus here and plus here as well, because this is also a plus sign. Now we can always check by foiling. So if we were to FOIL this, we'll get x times x, which gives us the x squared, x times the 3, which gives us the 3x, and 2 times the x, which gives us a 2x, and 2 times the 3, which gives us the 6. And after we reduced it, it'll become x squared plus 5x plus 6, which matches with the original trinomial that we started off with. So we know that we did this right. Alright, let's take a look at another example where we have x squared plus 2x minus 15. Again, we'll take a look at the 15 and think of factors of 15. We have 1, 15, 3, and 5. So those are the two that we can pick from. Now in this case, if you look at the middle term, it's a 2, positive 2. So which combination will give us the positive 2? It can't be the 1 and 15. It has to be the 3 and the 5. So those are the factors that we'll use to write out the binomials. Alright, now we can make the two sets of parentheses. And we want the first term to be x squared, so the x will go here and the x will go here. And we want this to be 15. We already determined the factors to be 3 and 5, so we'll put a 3 and a 5 here. Now here's the tricky part, which is to determine the sign. Now if you look at this negative sign, that means the last two terms when we multiply, it has to be a negative. So it's either plus minus or minus plus. The signs must be opposite of each other. So now we look at the middle term to determine which one it is. So here we have a plus. So here's the trick. If that's a plus sign, the bigger number between the two factors will take on that sign. So between 3 and 5, 5 is bigger than 3, so the 5 will get the plus sign. If this is the plus sign, then this has to be the minus sign, because we want the two signs to be opposite. Okay, the last step is to check to see if we did this right by foiling. So x times x will give us the x squared, x times the plus 5, which gives us plus 5x, and then we have the negative 3 times the x, which gives us the negative 3x, and the negative 3 times the positive 5, which gives us the negative 15. Now if we were to reduce this, we're going to get x squared plus 2x minus 15. And it matches exactly with the original trinomial that we started off with. So we're good. Okay, let's take a look at the last example. We have x squared minus 2x minus 8. Again, we'll take a look at the constant term. In this case, it's the 8, and we'll think of the factors for 8. We can have 1, 8, or 2 and 4. Next, we decide which set of factors we'll use, the 1, 8, or the 2 and 4. Well, we'll take a look at the middle. We want to combine it in a way so that it'll be a negative 2 in the middle. You cannot do that with the 1 and 8. If you were to add or subtract, you won't get the 2. So in this case, we'll pick the 2 and the 4. Okay, so now we're ready to factor out the trinomial. We made the two sets of parentheses, and we know that the x will go here and here because we want the original x squared, and the factors that we'll use will be the 2 and the 4. It doesn't matter which one goes where. What matters is the sign that you put there in between the x and 2 and the x and 4. So now we take a look at this sign, and it's a negative in front of the 8. So we know that the two signs in between the x and 2 and the x and 4 will be opposite. So it's either minus plus or plus minus. To determine which set it is, we look at the middle term here, which is the negative 2x. So we'll take the sign, which is the negative. Again, just like before, the bigger number takes on that sign. So between the 2 and the 4 is bigger than the 2. So the 4 will take on the negative sign. But if that's the case, then the 2 will take the plus sign. Okay, now we're ready to check our answer. Using the FOIL method, we'll do x times x will give us the x squared. Then x times the negative 4 will give us the negative 4x. And then the positive 2 times the x will give us a positive 2x. And the positive 2 times the negative 4 gives us the negative 8. And that reduces to x squared. The minus 4x plus the 2x gives us the minus 2x. And you have the minus 8 there. And this trinomial matches exactly with the original that we started off with. So we're done and we're happy.